News dump. Hot off the presses, or should I say, casts? It's fresh off a podcast, Mac. But Adam Driver was on the Smartless podcast. That is
we
the
all know
Sean
about that
Hayes, Will
podcast.
Arnett, Jason Bateman. I'm explaining
So maybe
what's
we
going
do.
on.
Yeah.
I'm painting a picture.
Sure.
And either way, he said that he is done playing Kylo Ren in Star Wars, saying they're doing stuff, but not with me. I'm not doing any more.
Yep. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, how I think without a shadow of a doubt, Kylo Ren was the best character from that trilogy, and they pretty much butchered him, and he was still the best character. It's a bummer because I think it just that trilogy reeked of potential. Kylo Ren and what was John Boyega's character's name? Finn. Two extremely intriguing characters that both just really sort of petered off as it went. And Rey's a good character too, but I don't know, man. As much as I liked the first movie and loved the third movie for shitting on the second movie, it's just there's that trilogy just has such a sour taste in everyone's mouth.
Mac loving a movie just out of spite is fantastic.
100%. Still legit, still one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years.
Driver also said that this is the only project that he was not able to read a script before committing.
That makes sense because, again, pretty clear that they didn't have the 3 movies written out before everyone signed on. I hope maybe one day he could return, but at the same time, I don't think we need it. The idea of Kylo Ren is good enough for me.
I mean, look, first off, Disney has money. Second off, we didn't think we were going to get Hayden Christensen again. And this past year has just been Christensen all over our face.
Right.
So
great point.
I feel like we're going to see Driver again. News dump. Amazon Prime is set to add ads to their video starting on January 29th, Amazon Prime Video. I don't know if I said that enough, but either way, $3, there will be an ad-free version. And I'm actually surprised that we've gone this long on Amazon Prime without getting ads or an add-on.
I'll be honest, I didn't even realize they were ad-free. It's so ingrained to me. Like, I have Hulu with ads. It doesn't bother me at this point. It's my, 30-second break to look down at my phone and get distracted. I used to be bothered by it. I used to think that the streaming services having ads sucked, but at this point, it's I don't even notice it.
I would say that up until this point, that was the best deal in streaming, not for the content that Amazon Prime was giving us, but it was an add-on to having Amazon Prime, and you can order yourself stuff.
Now, I don't want to, don't dime me out here to the bigwigs that run this world, but my Disney, ESPN, and Hulu bundle has not gone up the last 3 times they've added prices. I've never modified my thing. I have my original 3 bundle deal. The price has not changed. I feel like I've slipped through the cracks here. Now I've got ads and shit on there, but I'm not changing anything because I'm still paying like $9.99 for all 3 or whatever the original deal was.
Yeah, I am paying the large sum of money that Disney Plus is now. And because I am paying so much, whenever my son is like, hey, can I watch something? I'm like, yes, on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's all we got.
You have no choice. We are going to make this work financially because it is so much. Speaking of streaming services, news dump. We are looking at a possible merger between WB and Paramount. The bigwigs have met, and I believe they met at the Paramount headquarters, with WB valued at $29 billion, Paramount just over $10 billion, so there is a bit of a discrepancy there. We could see a possible merger of Paramount Plus and Max, also CBS Sports combining with WB's Turner Sports. They currently share March Madness. And we could also finally see a movie crossover of Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Now, none of that really matters to me, quite honestly. Yeah. I'm more concerned about what they're going to call it. I have 2 options here for you. Can you tell me which you prefer? Warner Mount, or Parabros? Parabros.
So, WB's right now made no sense why they cut off the HBO in the HBO Max, because that is the selling point of it, HBO with all of their programming. So my assumption is that they are all in on the word Max, and you're just adding more to Max. So more Max. Let's shorten it up. Morks.
Paramax.
No, Morks. It's going to be Morks.
More Max. Warner Max, Paramax. There's something there. There's something there. They're not going to go with any of those, but there's something there.
No, they're going to go with Morks.
Morx.
Yep, Morks. If you like Max, now there's more.
Or maybe
Morks.
Morkx. Really hit Morks.
And then you put Robin Williams right on the front of it.
Or maybe you go with Z.
Don't give him any money.
KZ.
Like spite his hey, we're not gonna. But like, here's Morks.
And it's just him in suspenders as the logo.
Yep. News down. Oh, baby. James Gunn on Threads said, no. There is no Clayface, Hush, Dick Grayson, Professor Pig, and Scarecrow set to be in the Batman 2.
I'll be honest with you, Goo. When I read this headline in our rundown, it was really confusing because you just typed out Gunn Mutombos Dick. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then after I read it, I was like, oh, he's
Dick
finger
Grayson.
wagging the internet because the internet's been a buzz.
There's been all these reports. Hey, they've already cast Robin. They've already cast Professor Pig. He's like, none of these characters are in the movie. Granted, there has to be some characters in this movie, so something's got to give.
And again, I also don't know if James Gunn knows totally what's going on with the Batman 2 since he's leaving it up to Matt Reeves. So there may be some truth to some of these rumors. And it does seem like, although the way they conveyed the fuck is this Riddler in this past movie, that there's some Hush similarities there. It does seem from what I've read that Hush would make a lot of sense for the next villain in this universe.
I think Hush would make more sense in the third movie.
That's going to be Joker for sure.
I really don't like that Joker. But also I really want Mr. Freeze. Like a good Mr. Freeze.
You don't like Barry's hog from Saltburn there? You don't want to see Joker with a hog?
No, I don't. But also, I'll tell you what, if you could get Clayface, Professor Pig, Scarecrow, and the Mad Hatter, like all of these like weird, spooky villains all in one, give me that.
You know what I'm actually intrigued by in this universe, because it's much more dark and quasi-realistic.
Based on reality.
What spin we will get on Dick Grayson, because he can be pretty cartoonish. And I want to see like that 17 to 19-year-old kid that's really jaded and making dumb decisions in a more impactful way than what we've seen.
It depends on how far we go in the future, because that was a very young Bruce Wayne. So Dick Grayson would have to be in his earlier teens.
I have a pretty good feeling we'll probably get like a 5 or 6 year jump. Now, maybe not. Maybe it picks up. Well, you know what? You know what will be pretty telling is how far ahead the Penguin series is going to be. Goo.
Yeah.
Like if this is set immediately after the Batman, then maybe the Batman 2 will be pretty close after. But if there's a couple year time jump in that series, then there's going to be at least a 2 or 3 year time jump after that for the second movie.
Yeah, because that's, one of the bigger things in Batman Forever of, Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne takes in this ward, played by Chris O'Donnell, who is roughly the same age as him. That's not really a ward. That's just two dudes living together.
No, Val Kilmer looks like he's 20 years older than Dick Grayson. That if you're going to question anything in that movie,
O'Donnell
it's
is
not that.
Roughly 30 years old in that movie. He doesn't need adopting.
Val Kilmer looks like he's 50. So if you're going to question anything from that movie, it's not the age difference between Dick and fucking Batman. Come on.
I'll tell you right now. Once you're past the age of 18, you shouldn't be adopted.
So if you were looking for like, if you're thinking like a 15-year-oldish Batman, is that what you? I mean, Robin, is that what you're looking for here?
Yeah, at least like a 10 or 12 year age gap.
So you want like a Tom Holland casting type when he was first as Spider-Man?
I'll say when he's first. Like, don't cast Tom Holland now, even though he still looks like he's 12.
Next Tom Holland. Is
like, Timothy Chalamet just turned 28. Just get Timothy Chalamet.
28 going on 12. News dump.
Got some stills for Joker. Folie adieu.
Folie adieu.
See the back of the Joaquin Phoenix's head with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn staring at him. And we also see his Joker in what seems to be a jail cell or a insane asylum cell.
I really like Lady Gaga. I really, really do.
So I am really like, I didn't love the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's amazing in it.
Yeah.
But also, like, it could have just been an Arthur Fleck movie, and like that's just what it is.
Aren't you feeling? Are you finishing a thought there?
Am I frozen? No, I am intrigued because of Lady Gaga. I want to see what that character, how she portrays Harley Quinn, and how like where do they go from here? Because you got the Joker origin story out of the way. Now you can just kind of tell a weird story.
Now, I was sort of leading this way anyways because of the craziness of the idea of this movie. But don't you think these two stills are sort of teasing the fact that maybe this whole movie is going to be a fever dream because he'll be in the fucking insane asylum the whole time.
It is a musical.
Yep, it's a musical. But like, look at these two stills: him hunched over in his cell, no face makeup, and then in the Gaga still, he's got the face makeup. So I feel like that's the path we're trending down. We might be going down there.
I mean, you can look at all the theories and think whatever you want, but like the last 20 minutes of the last movie, the last half an hour possibly, could have also all been a fever dream.
Very true. Very true. We still don't have clarity on that. That's a great point.
News down. I also think they shouldn't give us clarity on that. That would be like doing an Inception 2 and like, oh, the top fell over. No, don't tell us.
Yeah, you're right about that.
We got a teaser for Spaceman, a prequel to the 30 Rock series.
I didn't expect that one. Spaceman. Is this the fourth and final Netflix movie in the Sandler deal?
I thought he had like 104.
This is being directed or written by someone that has done a lot of good things. I forget the name and what he's been attached to, but look up who's attached to this movie, and this leads me to believe it might be really good. And you and I, notoriously much higher on Uncut Gems than most others. I am actually really intrigued by yet another dramatic Sandler role. So this is coming to Netflix March 1st. I'm actually really looking forward to this.
Same. And I would have also liked it if it was silly Sandler. Oh, look at the rocks.
Well, it does seem like there might be some Castaway to this, right? So there might be a little bit of Sandler fucking around, which could work out well.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds interesting too, of like Sandler kind of losing his mind and going crazy.
Yep. I'm up with that. I'm down with ODP.
What If season 2 is live right now? You can watch it on Disney Plus. News up. Look, man, I'm not watching it. I don't care anymore.
December 26th, the day after Christmas, when I was recovering from drinking way too much the prior 2 days, I watched 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes. It's fine. It is what it is. It's nothing to write home about.
Via Variety, Jeremy Allen White says that there will be a lot more cooking in season 3 of The Bear, saying that so much of season 2 was about putting the restaurant together, but now we're going back to that functioning kitchen atmosphere.
You know what? This might be, and I have not taken to the Bear the way a lot of people have. I think the show's just fine. Like, it hasn't really done it for me. And maybe it's missing this, because I truly like in the movie Chef with Favreau.
So you love food porn. That's your favorite thing. You love food porn.
This show really lacks that. The only time we really got it in season 1 was when Io Debris was like going through trying to figure out good recipes to have at the restaurant. We got a little bit of that. I didn't even start season 2 because I didn't like season 1 all that much. Although I heard the Christmas episode in season 2 was amazing. I need that. I need like the inside stuff, the cool, like we got like the interactions in the kitchen, which I enjoyed, but in a show about a restaurant, 2 seasons worth, it's really been devoid of kitchen stuff. And it's been more outside of the kitchen stuff. And I actually more prefer the restaurant stuff. So, and I have seen some of that out there too, where the Bear is just missing something for some people. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's that kitchen atmosphere that it needs more of to draw us in.
News down. Got a trailer for HBO's The Regime.
This trailer teaser made me want you to go ahead again and watch the last HBO miniseries with Kate Winslet, which was My Ryan. What's the fuck was the name of that? My brain is not functioning.
Mayor of
today.
Easttown.
Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and watch that? Watch that before my birthday next year. That's going to be my birthday episode. You have until May.
Won't show up. Maybe I just won't show up.
That's still one of the best single seasons of television of all time. This is March 3rd coming to HBO. I'm all in with Kate Winslet. I'm all in with HBO Max miniseries, so I'm looking forward to this.
There's that. But our first look at a still of Coyote versus Acme. Of course, this was the movie that was thrown in the bin by the WB, by Max, and they said, oh, wait a second. Let's take it back out because people are yelling at us. And we got Will Forte and Wile E. Coyote in a courtroom. And what I like about this, the animation on Wile E. Coyote is 2D, not that Space Jam 3D shit.
Yeah, you have some Roger Rabbit vibes.
Space Jam 2. The original Space Jam was 2D. Guys, get off my back.
Yeah. They're shopping this now because there was so much. Just the idea of it is intriguing enough. I think that someone will buy it. Will Forte attached obviously helps too. This is one of those movies that even if they tell me it's the worst movie of all time, I'll still watch. I'm just intrigued by this. I like the combination.
News Dap. Scream director Christopher Landon has confirmed that he has exited Scream 7, saying it was my dream job that turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, he got thrown into the fire with what the studio decided to do there with Melissa Barrera, and now Jenna Ortega's out, so he's got no reason to stay attached to that project.
But what if we get Neve Campbell back? Please don't do that.
I think
she was fine. She was obviously fine in Scream 5 or whatever it is, but they had built something good with the other two characters, and now they can't do anything going forward.
Yeah, Scream 5 and 6 are pretty good. I like them almost evenly. I enjoyed 80% of both movies. It is a little bummer, but at the same time, when you're 7 movies into, like, I don't need it anymore. I really don't.
Like, the only way that 7 succeeds is if they're able to get Jamie Kennedy back as Randy Meeks. And they're like, I thought you were dead. And he goes, hey, have you seen the Halloween franchise? And they're like, yeah. All right, that.
And then they give us a good first movie, and the next 2 are absolute trash.
And then out of nowhere, Stu shows up, Matthew Lillard. And they're like, wait a second. But if it's Halloween where the first movie counts, how did this happen? And he just goes, leave her alone.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I really got to add David Gordon Green up there with my Ryan Johnson and Zack Snyder stuff. He can come catch these mitts too. He stinks.
Actually, I believe that I pitched at the end of our Scream 6 podcast, our award-winning Scream 6 podcast, that the best thing that they could do for Scream 7 is to fold in upon itself and pretty much just turn into Scream 1 again. Like, get inside of that movie. And I think we just figured out how.
Sure.
News dump. Did you see this? Did you hear about this? Peaches, the Jack Black Super Mario song, did not make a nomination shortlist of this year's Best Original Songs at the Oscars.
This is where I feel like the Oscars miss it sometimes. The song from the Wes Anderson movie made it, but the alien, which was stupid. This is also stupid. But this was popular enough that even though it's a very simplistic and he wrote it in 8 minutes song, I feel like when something is this popular, it should be automatically nominated. Do you not agree?
So I agree with you in the fact that they would have gotten some eyes on their program by having Jack Black do this live.
That's a great idea.
But also, this song stinks.
I know it's not in the spirit of the Oscars, but I also feel like most of 90% of the population would rather have the more popular stuff garner nominations here and there than just the stuff that 8 critics saw, because that's the disconnect with the Oscars most often.
As an earworm, good.
Peaches.
As a song, people, you got to stop.
Yeah, but we talked about this with Marcus Estevez, formerly of the Boxers podcast, now of Norris the Terrible. He told us, he's like, the more time I spent on a stinger for you guys or a theme song for you guys, the less popular it was. The ones that I spent fucking 10 minutes on are like his most popular ones. So it's funny how that works.
There's that. Bad news for Insomniac, the video game company. Well, kinda. They leaked up. So people, some leakers went in there, some ne'er-do-wells went in there and leaked a bunch of stuff from upcoming video games, upcoming titles, but mostly it is from the upcoming Wolverine game that is coming out in 2025. And they included some gameplay that it doesn't look done, obviously. They haven't finished it yet. And Insomniac said, like Logan, Insomniac is resilience. Marvel's Wolverine will be continued as planned. The game is in early production and will no doubt evolve greatly throughout development, as do all of our plans.
This was such fucking bullshit. Like, yeah, of course you don't want stuff leaked. That I get that. But Insomniac comes out and releases these statements, this woe is me statements like, oh, despite what's gone on these past couple weeks, the Wolverine game is still going to be developed. Yeah, no fucking shit. No one thought the game would be shut down because a minute of gameplay got leaked. This is so fucking dumb. Between the name of the studio and the name of the character, this game's going to get made. This game's going to get bought by millions of people. They don't need to play this fucking victim card.
It would have been great, though, if they posted a photo of the guy that leaked it, and they're like, the game's not coming out anymore, and you can blame this guy. It's his fault.
All right, you know what? I would have been down with that. I would have liked that.
There's doubt. Final thing here, Mac. This is the final piece of audio coming out from Mac and Goo in the year of 2023. What do you have left from the year that you need to see before we do our awards next week?
Yeah, we got awards, then eventually maybe Vault at the end of January once we get to everything. I really want to see Anatomy of a Fall. I'm being told it's one of the best dramas of the year, so I want to get to that. Yeah. The Iron Claw, the new A23 Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White film that just came out. I might go see that in theaters tomorrow.
A24?
Yeah, what did I say? A23?
A23. I'm like, is that a different production? That'd be fucking crazy if someone else called their production company A23.
We're just a little worse than A24, but we do our best.
We're just as confusing, if not more.
I stupidly need to see Aquaman just to see the DC.
We probably need to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in a couple
our
weeks.
DC stuff.
Yeah. And then of course I have to see the Sydney Sweeney rom-com just because she's wearing a bikini.
Because I've seen it like middling reviews on it, but like no one's saying if it's sexy or not, and that's really all I care about. I also still need to see Godzilla -1.
What do you need to see?
I'm fucking saying it right now. Thanksgiving, I'd like to see, and maybe Napoleon, kinda.
I've heard really mixed things on Napoleon that makes me not want to watch it. You get another one here that I might catch too because it's on Netflix is Bradley Cooper's Maestro.
Oh, Maestro as well, and I just caught Dream Scenario.
I don't know what that is. You texted me about
that. That's a Nicolas Cage movie. It's the A24 Nicolas Cage movie that I need to watch some YouTube videos on now to see if I missed anything.
Oh, you know what I'm going to watch too, actually, is the what's his name? The Jeffrey Wright movie where he's the author and there's some strange little fiction vibes. I heard it's really good.
American Fiction?
Yes, there you go.
Yes, okay, so that absolutely I need to see.
Yeah, I got to get to that as well.
The trailer looked really good. It's getting really good write-ups. That looks very, very funny.
So maybe that's at the top of the list for us.
That might be number one, actually. But we need to see a couple things before next week.
Yeah.
At the start of next week, I would like to do our most anticipated movies of 2024 as the first episode of 2024.
I like that.
Then we'll do at the end of the week our awards, and then we'll move on from there.
Then maybe we'll do another dump and then Aquaman at the end of the next week.
Yep. And then, like you mentioned, a Vault. I would like to do that late January, early February, probably closer to the Oscars, I'd say.
Yeah, because that'll give us a time to because once Oscar season gets going too, there's gonna be more movies that win awards and like maybe we should see that. Like Saltburn's getting talked about a lot, but I already have a pretty good idea of what Saltburn's gonna be. I know I'm gonna like it. I don't think I'm gonna love it. So that's I might watch that in like a month.
Also, I started my list, and I think I've actually finished my list of my most anticipated movies of 2024. Going into it being like, well, there's not a lot of like Marvel coming out, DC, and then I did my list, and I'm like, I'm really intrigued by like 25 movies next year.
Well, it helps that the strike bumped off like the whole second half of 2023. So a lot of the back half of 2023 stuff that we're looking forward to is now coming out in 2024.
Like, I would say that my numbers 2 through 15 are like pretty close of I want to see this.
Right.
It's my money and I want it now.
We're going to do it, combining style, top 10, right?
Yes.
Each movie gets a number. Okay. All right.
Each movie gets a number. We'll do a top 10, but most likely a top 13. And we'll mention 100 movies.
All right. That works for me.
So,
News dump.